In this video, you will be given an overview of Google Calendar. Google Calendar is a digital calendar system that every USM student has access to via their mycampus portal. It is a great way to organize your time, events, and schedule. While you may be used to using a physical calendar, either in the form of a wall calendar or planner, a digital calendar might be a great addition to your personal time management system. This is because using a digital calendar system like Google Calendar can enhance your experience in the remote learning environment. This is because Google Calendar offers many features that are simply unavailable with traditional calendars. One of these features is the ability to access your calendar from any device like your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Another useful feature is the ability to have Google Calendar send you reminder notifications for your events, so you can be reminded either an hour before an event, 10 minutes before an event, the day before, or all of the above. You can even set a custom time period so you can be reminded 3 weeks before an event or 2 days prior. It is all up to what you think works best for you. You can choose to receive these event notifications on your smartphone, tablet, or on your computer. These two features aren't the only perks of using Google Calendar, though. Since Google Calendar is connected with your @maine.edu email address, Gmail will automatically detect events and email messages like meeting and appointment dates, flight itineraries, and much, much more. This makes it easier to add events to your calendar since you won't have to worry about physically writing them down. Finally, there is also the option to have your Brightspace calendar sync with your Google Calendar. This means you'll be able to view all assignments and quiz due dates made visible to you by your instructor right within Google Calendar. You will be shown how to do this later in the video. For now, let's take a closer look at Google Calendar. In order to start organizing in your calendar, first start by going to your mycampus portal and click on the blue calendar icon. Your Google Calendar will pop up in a new tab where you will be greeted with the week view and a sidebar to the left with a smaller calendar along with some options to create a new event and to manage your calendars. In the top right corner, you can choose how you view the calendar by clicking the week drop-down menu. You have the option of viewing your calendar in a day, week, month, year, schedule, and a 4-day view. The different views are helpful for when you are using your calendar to look at your schedule for a specific time frame. So, for example, if you were looking at how busy your upcoming Thursday may be, you'd probably want to choose the day view to get a closer look at your schedule for that day. For this video, however, we'll be sticking with the week view. You also have access to your calendar settings, help, and a search tool. The search tool is useful for finding both past and future events. Now, let's create a calendar entry. To do this, go to the left-hand side and click Create. Once you do, a pop-up will appear where you can enter your event details. It is recommended that you click on the More Options button in the bottom of the pop-up window. This will change the screen to allow you to add more details than are available in the pop-up. Once you've expanded the pop-up, you will see that you have the option of adding a title to the event along with the time and date. Let's give our event a title and set a date and time for it. You also have the option of making this event a recurring event. Creating recurring events can be useful when you are inputting things like your weekly group study meeting over Zoom. So instead of creating an event manually for every Friday at 3 p.m., you can just set the event to recur every Friday at 3 p.m. once and have it repeat the event for you. Let's add recurrence to this event. For this example, I will choose to set a custom recurrence. However, you also have preset options like making an event recur daily, weekly, monthly, and so on, based on the date and time you choose previously. Once the custom recurrence is set, click on Done. To the right of the window, you can add guests for meetings and events by typing in a name and/or email address where it says Add Guests. When you create groups with guests, each guest will receive an email notifying them that they were invited to partake in the created event. They will have the option to respond with a yes, maybe, or a no in regards to if they will actually be able to attend or not. Their answers will be reflected in the event. Once we've invited some guests, we can also add video conferencing to this event. This can make remote learning even simpler, as you can schedule Zoom meetings while creating an event and invite others to join, as opposed to creating an event and a Zoom meeting separately. To do this, a specific add-on will need to be installed. You can find this add-on if you search Zoom for Google Calendar on Google and click on the first link. To use this add-on, you must be using Google Chrome. Follow the instructions on Zoom's website to help you download this add-on. Once it's installed, you should see something that says Add Video Conferencing. Click on it and then click on Zoom. Whoever you add as a guest to this event will be invited to join this meeting and will have access to the Zoom link and meeting instructions. Next, you can also set a location for your event. So if you were setting up an event for an in-person class, you could write which building on campus it is so you don't forget. Since this event is for a digital meeting, we won't add a location. Below this, you can set up notifications for this event. This is to ensure that you are reminded of an event before it is occurring so you do not miss it and have time to prepare. If you have the Google Calendar app installed on your iOS or Android device, your notifications will be in the form of regular push notifications, similar to how you'd be notified of a text message. You can also receive notifications on your computer. Just make sure you leave your calendar open in a separate tab. Event notifications on your computer can take the form as an email, a desktop notification that will show outside of your web browser, or an alert that will only show inside your Google Calendar window. You can set how you'd like to be notified using the drop-down menu here. By default, you'll be alerted via a desktop notification and via an alert in your Google Calendar window. You can also add additional notifications if you wish. We will leave the notification settings as is. You can also color code your events, which you may find useful. In the same area, you can also click the colored circle. Default color is a light blue, and this will give you 11 options of colors that this particular event can be shown as in your calendar. So, for example, you could have your course events be blue and your work schedule be red. Here, you can also set the event visibility. If you share your calendar, you may want to change what others can see about certain events. You can mark whether you are busy or free, and also whether this is a private or public event. If you mark an event as busy, that means the people you shared your calendar with will see that you are unavailable during that time. You'll be shown how to share calendars and even make separate ones later in this video. Finally, you can add an event description and even attach a file. So, for example, if you want your study group to review a certain set of notes beforehand, you could attach the PDF here. We won't add an event description or attachment in this example. Once you're done making the event, click Save. You should now see your event listed in your calendar. One thing to note is that if you for some reason want to quickly change where the event is on your schedule, you can just drag and drop the event where you want it to reschedule. Now that the event is scheduled, it is important to remember that events do not just have to be for meetings and appointments. You can also choose to assign tasks to specific blocks of time throughout your day. For example, you could make an event to read Chapter 2 of an intro psychology textbook from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., or create an event to start an outline for an English essay from 2 to 3 p.m. Creating events for tasks can be a helpful way of ensuring that there is time dedicated in your schedule to work on a specific task. Or If you prefer to create a to-do list, you can also click on the checkmark here in the sidebar on the right-hand side to create a list of tasks. Another useful thing about Google Calendar is the ability to share and create separate calendars. So, for example, if you wanted to have a separate calendar for school, work, and extracurriculars, you could have them be on separate calendars and even color code. If you wanted to create a calendar, click on the plus symbol and click Create a New Calendar. For this example, we won't create a new calendar. If we wanted to share a calendar, just click on the three dots next to the calendar you want to share and then click on Settings and Sharing. At the bottom, you can click on Get Shareable Link to get a link you can send to someone. We won't be sharing a calendar with anybody for this video. Now, since you can add separate calendars, this means that you can add calendars from other sources, including Brightspace. This means that you'll be able to view your assignment and quiz due dates from Google Calendar, along with any other course events made visible to you by your instructor. To do so, navigate to your Brightspace calendar. To access your Brightspace calendar, you can do so by clicking on Calendar, located on the Calendar widget on the course homepage, or you can access the calendar by going up to the nav bar and then clicking Tools and then Calendar. Go up to the subscribe, which is located to the left of the search bar, and then copy the link. Then head back over to Google Calendar and go to where it says Other Calendars in the bottom left corner and click on the plus icon and then click on From URL. Paste the URL here and then click Add Calendar. You should now see all of your Brightspace events populate here. After you populate your calendar with all events in the foreseeable future, make sure to look through the next couple of months of your schedule by clicking on the arrows next to the tab that says Today in order to make sure that your events and dates have been saved properly. Finally, it is important to remember that you should customize your calendar to work for you. Everyone is different, so some may enjoy creating their tasks as separate events, for example, while some would rather make a to-do list for them. Make sure you also refer to and update your calendar frequently so that it stays up to date. Regardless of how you create your calendar, make sure that it is made in such a way that will help you enhance your learning. And that's that. You've now been given an overview of Google Calendar. Make sure you practice using Google Calendar yourself so you can become more familiar with it. Please be sure to check out our related resources on learning with other Google technologies. And for more information on academic support resources and strategies, visit us at usm.maine.edu/agile.